Randy wine glass. I be tired of holding this shit up to my my voice, but it is what it is. If I pin it here, I don't know if it's gonna be as loud. My daughter sleeps, so I'm gonna wake her up. Yeah, man. I got some time today. Saturday. Just want to build with you guys on, you know, just life experiences, man. And grew up in Detroit. Every time I do my life experiences video, I always get cut off. I'll probably get cut off again because I'm sure my daughter gonna wake up. But yeah, man, grew up in Detroit. So I was born in '86, and I want to say like the first year or so, couple years of me being born, my mom and dad didn't really get along. You know, just didn't work out. And even looking at my mom and dad personalities, I can understand why it didn't work out. They were so different. But so it was just me, my mom, and whoever her boyfriends were or whoever she dated. And when you grow up without like your bio dad and you're young and black, now that I'm almost 40, I can look back and understand like it's almost like you're cut off from like financial education. You're cut off on like emotional literacy, how to, really deal with women. You got to have a father in America to know how to deal with women in America, because these women not going to tell you how to deal with them. I don't remember my mother teaching me shit about, hey, this is how you go about dealing with women. It's like when you raised by women, don't expect them to tell you the dark side of the female nature and things you need to look out for. It's like when you raised by women, man, a lot of times as the male you asked out, man, because a lot of times the women in America, a lot of times they align with each other. So what's understood don't need to be explained. For them, they're like, all men are dogs, men are trash. And they look at you, as a young black boy with no father, like he gonna more than likely turn out the same. Hopefully he don't, they don't know. But that bias is there. That's why they don't teach you shit. You're fortunate, if you grow up with a household of women and they teach you about female nature and, the good, the bad, the ugly, how they perceive men and really teach you how to sharpen your game. They can't teach you everything, but they can teach you about women. You're fortunate, man. You blessed. So, you know, I didn't get that, you know. And this isn't me playing a victim. I'm just giving you, my objective, perspective, my observations. I had to learn, from firsthand experience. So grew up in the 80s, you know. Um, my mother, she was Navy back in the day for a couple of years. So she used to travel a lot and she was stationed in Virginia. So she used to move around a lot. I didn't like moving around a lot, going from school to school and, she's in and out of relationships. I didn't like the instability growing up. Like I liked stability. I liked, my grandparents lived in Detroit. So I loved this they lived in the same house since damn near the 60s. So it's like, it's familiarity there. So that was something I gravitated towards. So I wasn't really rocking with living with my mom all over the 7 cities of Virginia, here, back and forth there. So I wanted to live with my grandma, you know. And she was like, all right, go live with your grandma. So I went to go live with my grandmother and she took care of me. My mom still took care of me too. But I ended up moving with my grandmother in Michigan. My mom was in VA. So, you know, um, technically for a good portion of my elementary school, middle school years, I didn't have my mom or my dad. I was with my grandma, which was by choice. I could have lived with my mom, and I did for a few years in high school, but I just chose to live with my grandma. So I was so behind, man, so ignorant, so naive to a lot of shit, man. Not having, because the thing that's about parents that's good, even if you don't like your parents, is that hopefully your parents are young enough. And I understand you got some parents that have kids like in their 40s and 50s, so it's like they be out of touch. but you can still be 40, 50 and have a young spirit. But a lot of times when you old as hell with kids, you may not connect with your kids' generation. But the thing that's dope about having your parents is like, they're young enough, they can understand like the realities of, male and female dynamics, the realities of modern day hustle, how to get, what's required, modern day. Things change so much in America. It's not like it was back in the fucking 70s. The 70s wasn't like it was in the 60s. The 60s wasn't like it was in the early 1900s. The early, everything's constantly shape shifting. All right. So it's good to have some sort of connection to your parents if they're invested in you because they'll keep you up to speed on just the changing climate, whether it be relationships, whether it be economics, whether it be, you know, um, any sort of avenues navigating this world. So I was a little bit behind, man. You know, like I was so corny. Like I was the cool dude. I was a good dude, but I was like, I'm not gonna really say super beta because I would say beta. I would say beta, but I wasn't like super beta. I was just kind of like because I was too shy to really. My life was good in that I didn't feel like in middle school I needed to absolutely have a girl, but you know, beta in the sense of like I didn't really know what the fuck I was doing. I didn't really know what I was doing, and yeah, man. Like I wouldn't even say I had like a girl that was like a female that was bullying me in elementary school. She was like a homie, but then she was like a bully. Not like a bully like in the sense of the term, but just would like clown me and shit. So I was just, just super like naive to, like how to be a young man, what that meant, to be a young man. Like I was like really behind. I remember back when they had fucking dial up. Now you niggas can just push a button and the fucking internet just pop up and shit. Back then your ass had to wait. Beep, beep, and yeah, man, I was looking up just how to get girls, like what do you got to do. I was just so curious, like damn, like when I first hit puberty and you just go, you're so curious, and I'm just like damn, like what do you say, what do you do? And that's it's unfortunate, man, like you know um when you don't have that it's like so important, man, for young black men to have like a father figure, man, in the home. Like they teach you so many different things, man. And what you end up doing, like when you don't have that, you end up going like when you don't have a father figure growing up, you end up looking at like your peers like father figures, like like people who could just be like maybe a teacher or maybe just dudes who just had stronger personalities, or maybe niggas was strong in certain areas where you were weak in. You start like idolizing them. You're like, yeah, damn, like you know that's what you end up doing. Like you end up mirroring like dudes that are around you who are a little bit more advanced. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like I think that was sort of like the origins of like my beta tendencies, like just not having like a solid father, man, just to kind of like, you know, be like, hey man, this is not what you do. This is not how you think. This is how you need to be seeing this shit. Don't be so emotional. Don't be so ruled by your lust and what you see and all that shit. Like fathers really, real fathers, they really help keep your mind clear and free of making like foolish ass, decisions, based off of your feelings and your emotions and shit like that. And they teach you too vicariously just how to interact with women, how to deal with women, right? They're stressed out, they're emotional, they get on their period, real men show you what to do. Maybe you fall back, maybe you guys, take a break or go get some coffee. I mean, they just real men teach you how to deal with women, so that's where a lot of the beta hood for me, I feel like started, was just not really having like a fucking template, and a lot of I didn't have like really any. I mean, I had uncles and cousins and shit, but thinking about it, nobody that was really consistent in my life I can really latch on, And it's like when you don't have your dad and your mom's dating dudes, I hate the dudes that come in. And back then, it was different back in the early '90s, but it's just I wasn't really feeling the stepdad shit. Like the dudes that were like super old school, and some dudes was cool and they meant well, but it's just I didn't like the feeling like your mom bringing another man around you and this nigga kind of feeling like you owe him something, like, yeah, I'm teaching you this, you need to bow down to me, little nigga, you ain't had no dad. I didn't like feeling like that and shit, so it was like I received what I could tolerate. And then I'm just like, I can't deal with this shit. So yeah, man, like, yeah, you got to learn the hard way. You got to learn by putting yourself out there, and just really learning by doing, you know. So fast forward, you know, elementary school, middle school, dealing with bullies and shit, people talking shit, especially growing up in Detroit, man. Everybody thought they was tough. Everybody thought they was tougher than you, better than you, even ugly ass niggas thinking they look better than you and they better than you and jealous. I dealt with a lot of that shit. Like, you know, I think that's why now it don't really bother me. Like if a motherfucker don't like me or jealous of me or whatever, because and growing up in Detroit, you deal with so much of that shit in elementary, man, middle school, people just hating and jealous and trying to try you and all that shit. So dealing with that, and yeah, you know, and you just it's not that you don't really recognize it when you're young, like the impact of you not having that father figure as a young man. You don't really realize it when you're young. Shit happening, and you just going through the day, you just cruising and shit. You don't even really bat an eye at that shit. You just it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't really get caught up in it. But yeah, man, beta as fuck, man. Didn't really have like really strong self confidence. Going online, looking how to learn game online. How do you get game? Like what is game? Like how do you talk to girls? Like what is this shit about? Like that's like your first milestone. It's like, damn, like how do you, and I would attract girls because I was cute, but I wouldn't like I would just be being myself. It wasn't like really any like strategy behind it. So that's like elementary school, middle school, you don't really know what you don't know, when you're young. So I can remember like attracting a lot of girls. A lot of girls would be interested, like, oh, she think you cute, aren't you? But you don't. And that's another thing about having like a father figure. Like they power you up in your self confidence. Like, hey man, you're a handsome man. You can get, man. When you're your daddy's son, boy, you can go out there, you can go get it. Your dads are like your coach. A lot of my friends who had fathers, man, they was like fucking powered up. They was super confident, man. Like they knew what they could do. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't really know. It's like when you don't have a father figure, but you have like maybe you might have good looks, maybe you might have the height, maybe you might have a talent, right? Maybe you have a way with words, right? It's like you have superpowers, but you don't recognize it. It's like you got these powers, but and people can see it, but you can't see it. That's like not having a father figure, like as a black man. Like you got powers that you don't recognize you have. You know what I'm saying? So the shit get like underdeveloped, right? Like knowing what I know now, man, shit. Like, I would have delayed a lot of shit, took my time. I was on some beta shit. Beta shit, you want shit fast. Like, you're not thinking, you thinking with your feelings when you in that beta mindset. Your emotions become your dad, when you don't got that father. So yeah, not having a dad is like having superpowers and you not knowing it. recognize what your powers are. People are like, hey man, Randy, you don't see these powers. Hey John, you don't see you got this power, man. Don't nobody else like what power? What are you talking about? You'd be so blind, to yourself. So yeah, elementary school, middle school, it was all right. It was all right, man. Girls can tell when you don't really got like a strong backbone. Like young girls, like when you ain't got a strong like fucking system backing you up, they can tell like because you tolerate too much shit. Like you too, have really strong boundaries. Your parents teach you they should be teaching you boundaries. Like, hey, this is okay. They do that. Hey, this is not okay. If you're not setting boundaries around your respect, girls can pick that shit up, man. They can pick that shit up. So yeah, middle school, it was tough, man. Middle school was tough, man. You know, um, I'm wearing like the cheap shit. I didn't have like the name brand shit. Pay less. I had to fake like we had to wear uniform. So it's like, they had like, everybody had like the Rockport shoes on, with the uniform to match the blue, navy blue pants with the white shirt. I had the fucking off brand the off brand Rockports and shit. You know, I was just like, but I feel like I had to look, so that was like what I think kept me in, the cool groups and shit like that. People like not the personality, so people like to like be around me. But in terms of like gear and like your gear was everything back then. Like, that determined like having parents is so dope when you're young because, if they're really invested in you as a young black man, they're buying you nice clothes. You can just tell by the quality of your outfit at school. Like you could tell like, oh, they got good parents. Like, you know what I mean? So it just that shit made a big impact, like on your self esteem. Like, you know, if you had the bummy clothes and you ain't had the fresh shit, you ain't had the fly shit, it was kind of like, oh, all right, you regular. It's like, you know, so yeah, middle school, elementary school, just navigating life, man. Like, didn't really know what I didn't know, man. I really didn't, you know. And high school, I'm getting older. I'm like, damn, like, I think I want to go stay with my mom. I feel like my mom was more masculine in some ways. She wasn't like super feminine. So I feel like, when I went to grow my hair out and, you know, to do like man shit that, I feel like I couldn't get away with my grandma. That's when I wanted to be like with my mom. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go with my mom. I can grow my hair out. I can go, hang out, do my thing, smoke a little weed, big deal, So that's what kind of gravitated me towards my mom, and then I just missed her. She's dope, man. As I got older, I feel like I appreciated her more, because she got more like raw life experiences. So, well, with my mom, and you know, life's just crazy, man. Like it's crazy. Like high school is like a battleground. Like it really is going to reveal yourself to you. It's like a mirror. Like either you got it or you don't. You know what I'm saying? Like I had a personality way with words. So I think that's what kind of kept me surviving, man. You know, um, what I would tell my younger self now is just like, man, believe in yourself. Like, don't compare yourself so much to other people, and don't pay too much attention to what everybody else doing. Like, love yourself, man. Like, you know, that's probably what I would tell myself. you know. But I had a good childhood, man. A lot of people have worse, man. I'm not gonna complain. You know, I had a pretty good childhood. I did. So I just not having that father figure, man. I feel like a lot of my years went to just being ruled by my feelings. When it came to like dealing with girls and family, I just wasn't, you know, as like rational, as I would have liked to be. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, ninth grade. I think that was like when I was like introduced to weed, like in ninth grade, and hanging out with niggas in my apartment community, and just again, man, like yeah, not having that father figure, you start linking up with niggas and just people just to learn, like you're just trying to learn how to be like a man. Like, oh, maybe this what it mean to be a man, like doing drugs, smoking. Oh, maybe this what made me look cool. Maybe this what I got to do to fit in. It's like when you don't have that strong father, that strong coach, that everyday coach. It's about you constantly trying to fit in and shit. Like, oh, this is what I got to do to fit in. This is how I got to act. I got to smoke. I got to dress like this. I got to think like this. You don't really have a strong, you know, um, like strong sense of self. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I want to say ninth grade. That's when I was really like introduced to like weed, alcohol. I used to be fucked up, hanging downstairs at my apartment at one of my friends' house. This older dude was this old guy, this older dude, you know, and he was just teaching me how shit go down in the streets, man. And he was living it. And I remember I used to be down there every day. We'd be playing the game, and I'd just be listening, just learning from him. You know, and that's what I think helped me develop some masculinity as a young dude. Not a lot, which is I was a good listener, so that would attract me a lot of opportunities to be around dudes who were doing like a lot of real shit. But I can remember I wanted to stay away from like relationships as a young dude because I didn't really know what I was doing with girls. Like I wasn't that dude that was like 15, 16 thinking about like having sex. Like I might have been watching porn and all that shit, but I was like, no, I'm not ready. You know, I was just so insecure. I knew I didn't have a dad figure. I knew I didn't know shit about women, you know. So it was like, shit, man. I don't think I lost my virginity till I was like damn near what, like almost 18. Yeah, man. So I would be like the dude like that would attract these fine ass girls, and it was like in high school, and they would be like super nice to me, super friendly with me, but then they would be sleeping with the rough niggas, like the hood niggas, like but they wouldn't tell me about it. Like I was like the soft dude, like they're like the good dude, like Randy, oh, he's a cool dude, he's cool, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, so I would say that did impact like my self confidence and um just ability to set boundaries and shit. Um, but life was good, man. My family did a good job. They did their best, man. I'm not complaining. I'm just looking back on shit. And yeah, man. 10th grade. So I went to four different high schools because we was just moving around a lot. I was moving back and forth. I wanted to be here. I wanted to be there. You know, um, and it gave me a lot of different experiences of just the different cultures of different schools and different types of friends and shit like that. So, um, yeah, man. Got older, got through to ninth, 10th. I want to say Michigan. I went to Michigan, stayed with my dad for a little bit. That didn't work out. So then I ended up getting put out. And then 11th, I think I went back to Virginia. That was like probably one of my favorite years of high school. It was like 11th grade. And then 12th, went back to Detroit. Northwestern High School, graduated out of Northwestern. And then yeah, man, was just trying to figure out what the fuck I was gonna do with my life. Like back then, man, it wasn't a whole lot of options. I think I wanted to be like a news broadcaster or like a radio person, something like that. And then I'm just like tried to apply for financial aid at this school, man. It was just too expensive, man. So I was just like, damn, you know, maybe I'll go to the military. My auntie was like, you should go to the military. It's more opportunities. Back then, it just felt like shit. It wasn't. Sometimes I feel like depending on what era of life you grow up in, it's just like the circumstances and conditions push you to do shit where you just feel like it's like your destiny, man. I don't know what else I would have fucking did. I didn't see myself going in student loan debt, paying for a fucking degree, and struggling to get a job. It's like shit. It was like a fucking trap, man, in Detroit back then. Like we didn't have like social media and YouTube and all that shit. That's what made me want to talk about this because I was talking about this shit earlier, man. Like it was, the conditions fucking determine what you was gonna do, man. Like if you ain't have no inheritance and motherfuckers wasn't sponsoring you, the conditions determine what you was gonna do, man. So shit, it's like I had to do what I had to do, man. And then went to the Navy. I fell into like a leadership position when I was in the military because of my handwriting. Chief was like, you know, first first week of boot camp, he was like, write out this. I want you guys to write out. We was all sitting there, nobody know anybody. It's like the first week of boot camp. He's like, I want you guys to write out this sentence. And then I don't want to know who wrote what, but just turn it in to me. And then he called me up and this other guy, like, you're gonna be my leader for this side, son. You're gonna be doing strict as fuck, man. But it was like the military become your father figure when you're like a bastard kid, like I was, beta, doing beta shit, and your feelings over girls and not really picking the right, situation, not knowing your value, and just I was just on some beta shit, man. Like then you start looking at like older cats that's more clean cut, that got their shit together. You start idolizing, other males and shit that like are around you. You know what I'm saying? Like especially in the military. And it was some good ass leaders, man. Really good ass leaders. So yeah, man. And then that taught me a lot, about just leadership and really just, having self confidence. That chief giving me that opportunity. It really did. At the time, I had a girlfriend, and we were long distance, so that shit was rough. But that situation really helped give me like some self confidence as a man, like just independent of everything around me. And yeah, man, fucking stayed in boot camp, left boot camp, went to the Marines. The first infantry medical school in California was my first time going to California. Shit, way back in like 2008. Went to California, went to Pendleton, did my training out there. My girl's like, I'm pregnant. I'm like, damn, what? Like, you pregnant? I'm like, fuck. I'm fucking panicking and shit. Just beta, man. I was on some beta shit. Like, you know, not having protected sex, not protecting myself. Just, I don't have any regrets because, like I love all my kids, but it's just, I was just shit, you know. That's another thing. Like when you don't have your father figure, you don't feel like you need to protect yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta protect yourself. You young men, a lot of you guys probably not gonna listen because, I'm old to a lot of you niggas. So but you gotta protect yourself, man. Take care of yourself. Like you may feel like you ain't shit and my life ain't about nothing and I'm nobody, but take care of yourself, man. Love yourself, man. You know. But I was blessed, man. I was in the Navy. I had a job, I had money, So I was like, okay, we'll make it work. She panicking and shit. I'm like, no, we can do this. We can do this. Because I loved her. Um. So yeah, man. You know, if I can go back to my younger self, what I would tell myself now is, man, like, man, you gotta love yourself, take care of yourself, protect yourself. You know, like when you raised by women, they working so hard, to take care of you, and you ain't their kid. Even if it is family, they're like, shit, I gotta take care of this nigga. My daughter, she, you know, all over the fucking place. I gotta take care of her kids. They working hard. They got their own problems, their own kids. So it's like, they're not gonna waste time telling you, oh, these are the type of girls here's what you need to do. They don't women ain't you can't expect women to teach you how to be a fucking man. You gotta have that shit from like your blood, like, because even like when I was with the Marines, man, we would have powwows every day about Marines fucking losing everything to females and not fucking protecting themselves, man. We've had powwows every day, man, and niggas still go out and do dumb shit. So it's like you need your blood to be, present, man, for that shit to really stick to your fucking brain. Young men are real stubborn. It's like teachers and mentors and therapists can tell people, young guys, shit all day, but you need your blood, like, to really be present, and on it, you know. People was telling me shit, even my auntie, she's like, be careful, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, yeah, you know, and, shit. So, yeah, man, we get to the Marine Corps, and like I had to get like my masculinity from like that's another thing. Like when you don't have a father figure, you're like extracting masculinity like from your environment. Like you're trying to source that shit like oil. You're like, damn, where can I, learn how to be a fucking man. And like I said, back then it wasn't like all this cable and social media and all that. You didn't really have a lot of shit to really look towards, like you didn't. That's what I'm saying. Like a lot of you young people, man, you guys are so blessed, man. Because even if you can just go online and just listen to like the business, how he be educating you niggas and putting you guys on. And if I would have had that shit at fucking 13, 14, oh my god, like I've been fucking powered up, dude. Like, we ain't had that shit, man. Like that's why I'm so thankful, man, for Jason Black, man. Like even now, it's awesome just to be able to listen to him, man. But sometimes I be thinking, like, damn, man, like, you know, I don't know what the fuck we was on, man. Like, everything back then was like hip hop. It was like hip hop. Like hip hop was like your daddy figure and shit. You're looking up to like Jay-Z, Nas, Jada Kiss. You're looking up to all the rappers, man. Them niggas ain't paying you child support. The difference with the hip hop and rap being your daddy is, nigga, you paying them support, nigga. It's like, nigga, you paying the dad support, nigga. Them niggas ain't your daddy, man. That's all you have. That's all you shit was so gatekept back in the early 90s, the 80s, even fucking early 2000s, man. Shit was, I mean, white America had this shit on a lot, man. MTV, BET, PBS, it wasn't a lot of shit out there for young black people to look up to. Not that it's America's responsibility. They say it take a tribe, a village to raise a child, but shit, starting in the home. So I'm not mad at them for that. They trying to get their money. They don't give a fuck about you, nigga. So it was like, if you ain't have a father figure back in like the 80s, the 90s, early 2000s, man, you was fucked. Wasn't no internet, nigga. Wasn't no coming up, come getting on. None of that shit. Like you had to do grimy shit to get on. You know what I'm saying? Like if you really wanted to be like successful or famous and feel like you wanted to get out and make your family proud, you had to do a lot of fuck shit, man. So it was different. The conditions were different then, but it made you it made you really appreciate hard work. You know, that's for sure. I could have been way worse off, man. So yeah, man. Go to the Marines, that's when I feel like exposed to like different cultures and different types of white people and white boys and all that shit. Growing up, man, it was just a lot of black folks, man. I didn't have like a lot of white male friends and kids growing up like my kids do. It's got kids of all races and shit. I didn't have that shit. It was like all black people, all niggas. At Jameson, like you ain't see no white kids, no white boys, no little white girls and shit like that. Even Asians or Hispanics, I ain't see that shit. So that's what kind of got me introduced to like the white world, like the European world, like the white Americans, like from all different parts of the world. That's what opened my mind up to them. Like, you know, so I was like, damn, these niggas so different. Like, you know, that's one thing about America. Like, you could grow up, like, I feel like America is like a big ass mansion with different rooms. Like, you might grow up in that black room and you think like everything is like the black room, right? Like, oh, everywhere around the world is like this, right? It's like, I mean, you leave that fucking room and you start traveling and seeing the world, you're like, damn, this room is nothing like their room. Like, it's like it really reveals like America has a really good way, when you're exposed to diversity for the first time of like revealing yourself to you, you're like, damn, I'm a nigga, like I'm black. Like you don't really think nothing of it. Like when you're in it, you're just like, whatever, you're just doing your thing. But like once you get around white folks for the first time and you're young, you really get reminded of your blackness. You're like, damn, like you just be feeling so far behind. Like, shit, them niggas is riding in trucks. I'm like, damn, I don't even got a fucking car yet. These niggas riding around in big body fucking trucks, coming from long money. Their mindsets was just different. You know what I mean? I was just like, damn, I remember telling myself, like, damn, what kind of fucking world is this? Like, it's so important, man, to keep like younger black kids like exposed to diversity. I think now you new generation, you guys got more exposure to diversity than we did, so that's good. But when that shit like system shock you, you just feel like you're like so behind. You know what I mean? I had some cool ass friends though. I had some cool ass friends. White boys really put me on some fucking game, man. I feel like they could get anything they wanted. Any bitch, any pretty girl, whatever you name it, man. Black, white, they could pull anything, man. You just be feeling like, damn, like, you know. But that shit used to power me up. I'm like, all right, let me step my game up. Like the Marine Corps help compare you to different you like in the class in an arena of so many different men, so you gotta sharpen your shit, sink or swim. And hey, what's up, Carrie? Yeah, so I navigating the Marine Corps, the Navy, then I get sent with the infantry Marines. And it was just like I said, when you don't got a father figure, you're like extracting all your masculinity, all your masculine energy from your environment. So I was like, it's like when you young man and you don't have a father figure, you feel like what you do make you a man, not who you are. So I was like, well, I'm fucking patrolling with the Marines. I'm kicking down doors. I'm carrying guns. That made me a man, right? I'm doing all these different things. Hey, what's up, Chevy? You think like when you don't have a father figure, you think everything you do make you a man, not who you are. So you constantly like in this performance mindset. You're like, I gotta do this, I gotta perform, I gotta keep up with the Marines, I gotta score high on my quads to be a man. You don't be feeling like you a man, like when you got your dad and you a young man and your dad power you up. You don't feel like you have to perform to be a man. You feel like I am a man. I got my father. I got, it may not be perfect, but you just you're not so banking on your performance. What's up, Chevy? What's up, Cara? You know. So yeah, man, beta, man. I had a lot of beta. I'm not gonna even lie, man. Yeah, I remember you. I remember you. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, man. I was just baited out, you know, and was just reckless, man. Reckless, drinking, smoking, messing around, just no self love, man. No self love. And that's what a lot of times what leads you to do more beta shit is you don't have any self love. You don't love yourself. You don't think highly of yourself. So that's how you get got. You know what I'm saying? You gotta think highly of yourself as a young man, especially as a young black man. You already got the odds against you. You gotta think highly of yourself. Nice, your mom is cooking. Oh, that's dope. That's dope. Yeah, I'm hungry as hell, man. You done said that. I'm just talking about just life, man, and hope you have a good dinner, man. Just talking about life growing up, not having a father figure growing up in Detroit and how I used to just do a lot of beta male shit, you know, simping, you know, the stuff the business be talking about, man. He be right, man. He be right. That's one civilian I'll rock with, you know. That's why with this channel, man, I try to teach you young guys like don't do a lot of what I did and then just I'm not your father figure. I'm not your role model, I'm not your mentor. I'm just a human being, man, who lived life and made a lot of fucking mistakes and did a lot of crazy shit, man. And I'm just telling you my observations at almost 40 and just to not do what I did, man, and think how I was thinking. Do what you want to fucking do, but just telling you from my observations on life, and if it whoever it land on is whoever it land on. If it don't, fuck it. But I did a lot of just insecure. I was insecure because growing up, I didn't really know what black meant, like me and black went meant. Yeah, have a good day, man. It's all good. I'm just rocking out, man, chilling, man. I appreciate you. Like my auntie, she used to tell me about black history and black empowerment and stuff like that, but I didn't really it would like go through one ear, not the other, because like the reality I was living in, none of that shit didn't really matter. It was like just getting through another day, man. Not trying to get put out, you know. So I didn't really know what being black or black pride. I didn't really know what that shit meant on like a day to day basis. I'm like, man, I'm just like a human being. I grew up Christian, so I'm just like, shit, we all fucking suffering and trying to get that grace and find our way. I didn't really have this fire in me towards like, other cultures or races and shit growing up, like elementary school, middle school, even high school. It was just like shit, Um, I feel like when I got to the Marine Corps and I start to see just how different people personalities, like when you get to like the extreme, how raw and just how nasty humanity can get based off the different cultures and shit. That's what really opened me up to that shit. You know, like race and different cultures and all that shit and racism and all that shit. But prior to that, man, I was fucking cruising through life, man. Like still ignorant, but like not really like hip, you know what I'm saying? Like to who I was. And so yeah, man, I got to infantry doing all the men shit. That's when I discovered going to the gym. I didn't going to the gym wasn't a thing like growing up. A lot of niggas wasn't working out, hitting weights and shit that I was around. So I was like, damn, how these niggas getting all big and swollen shit They my age. Why they look so big? I'm all skinny and thin. I didn't think nothing of it. I was getting by. Then I started thinking like, no, man, I gotta get to the gym. I gotta work out. I gotta, I didn't get a lot of like masculine knowledge, man, till like later on. I'm thankful to the Marines, man. A lot of those dudes, and these were like white dudes, fucking, different culture, Hispanics, things like that. You know, um, Asians, and black too, man. They were teaching me like, this is how you need to be a man. This is what you need to do to be a man. I'm like, all right, even without saying it, like so a lot of dudes in the military, man, not all, but coming from broken homes, poverty, you know, and sometimes motherfuckers need that shit. I needed it. A lot of you dudes don't need it. A lot of you dudes, you can win. You had uncles and father figures or a boss that took you in, so you didn't need it. Good on you, man. I'm not here to tell you how your life should have been. I needed it. Like I needed the military. I needed to be in the Marine Corps at the time I was. I needed those experiences to really see myself and to really learn how to be a fucking man. I really needed that shit because if I would have kept going the route I was going, I probably would have died a beta ass, simp ass dude. You know, I would have died a beta, simp ass dude, man. Simp beta meaning like not knowing my value, not knowing my worth as a man, throwing it all away for women, putting them on a pedestal, treating them like the prize, and I'm just like a piece of shit. Everything is about her. I probably would have died that way, man. So yeah, man, did my 2 combat deployments and started to get like a little bit more confidence in myself. I'm like, all right, maybe I can be somebody. I have my son. You know, I was still trying to figure myself out, man. I was still trying to figure myself out. I didn't, like I said, when you don't have a male growing up, you don't even know how to be loyal to a woman. You don't learn loyalty as a nigga just being born. Loyalty is not given to you in the cradle. Loyalty has to be modeled to you. You gotta be modeled faithfulness to your wife. You gotta be modeled loyalty to your wife. You gotta have examples. And it was like I didn't have that shit. You know, in my mind, I'm like, shit. Do the best you can, and you know, just a fucking dirtbag. Not like loud about it, but just like would do shit knowing that it was wrong. You know what I mean? Like, and just yeah, I had reasons. I had my reasons. Like, I wouldn't just like heartbreaking motherfuckers just for nothing. But it was like I wasn't really standing on nothing. You know, that's another reason why you gotta have your father there every day. He teaches you to stand on your principles. Like you gotta stand on shit. Like, man, you know what? I'm not gonna do this. I can go cheat. I can go fucking sleep around. I can get this bitch back for playing me and doing me dirt, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna stand on my principles. You know what I'm saying? You don't really, it's like superficial when you don't got your father. Like you just like you say it, but you don't really stand on it. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, I'm just on here just sharing my life experiences, man. My beta origins, man, and simp origins. You know, insecurities, all of that, man. I'm as human as they get, man. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of you guys on the mic, you know what I'm saying? And shit. Yeah, man. Did my 2 combat pumps, came back and was just exposed to so much in Iraq. So much poverty, heat, just people coming from nothing. I thought I came from Detroit, man. I thought I was from the bottom and didn't have shit. And I got to Iraq, I was like, man, I'm living like a fucking life of luxury, man. Iraq really helped me put like Detroit in perspective. Like when you don't got shit to like reference from Detroit, like nothing worse, you think like Detroit is like the worst shit. Like you're like, damn, like man, I'm from Detroit. I ain't got shit. Like who gonna? I'm like nothing. Like like you don't depend on your background and your family. Like me, I was just like, I'm fucking screwed. Like like. But I went to Iraq. That shit really humbled me. I was like, damn, like I got a lot to be fucking thankful for and to be grateful for. And Detroit is not as bad as I thought it was. My conditions wasn't as bad as I thought it was. And they weren't that bad. I was living fucking good. But just like living with my mom and being in different hoods and shit, like it was still fucking paradise, man, compared to a lot of conditions these families were living like in the Middle East, man. So I feel like the Iraq war was more than just like oil and politics. It was a lot of life, a lot of wisdom, being exposed to that at such a young age. I was like in my early 20s. I remember telling myself in the desert, I was like, man, if I can get back home alive from this shit, man, nothing can stop me. Like, I'm gonna really appreciate, my opportunities and the things that I have afforded to me. Because you didn't know if you was gonna make it back alive or not, You around these white boys and them niggas willing to die. They going to some of the most dangerous areas, you know, doing some of the most craziest shit. So you ain't know where the fuck you was gonna end up. Your body's just like broken down. They trying to break you, to see what you're about. But they build you back up. They build you back up, but you just didn't know if you was gonna make it back home. So not only was I a beta simp, I'm panicking, hitting my girl up in Iraq every day. I'm nervous and shit. I'm like, damn, is she cheating? She playing me. I'm out here. I was treating her like the prize, man. I wasn't prizing myself, And a woman can still be a good thing, but she shouldn't be better than you. You shouldn't look at her as like she's better than you, unless you're just a piece of shit, you know. And in Iraq, like more worried about her in Iraq than my fucking self. Yeah, I'm like, damn, like nigga, what the fuck is up? I was just on some beta shit, man. Beta shit. Hey, what's up, Twilight? How you doing? Just talking about my life experiences being growing up as a beta and a simp for almost a decade, even in the military in Iraq, still simping, you know. And it's nothing to be ashamed of, man. Like, sometimes you gotta go through that simp stage, man, where you chasing after girls, you thinking that's what it mean to be a man. That's another consequence of not having a father figure, a real father figure. You think, oh, I gotta chase all these girls. I got this is what I need to do to make me be a man. This is shit I need to do. I gotta get her number, I gotta get all these numbers, your mind be all fucked up. You know, that's why when I look at a lot of these rappers today and they got all these women like Offset, he's sleeping with all these women. What's up, Uncle Brother? When you gotta have so many different women, it's because you didn't really have a real father in your life that could really teach you, like, man, you a man without that. You a good man without that, man. You don't need to have all this external validation. You a good man without that. I was like Offset, thinking if I had all these girls, if that she loved me. What's up, Uncle Brother, man? They love me, they like me. That mean I'm a man. That mean I'm good enough. That mean I'm it. If I can show all these dudes, I can get girls too. I'm not ugly. I'm not that. I can look at these pretty girls I got. I'm a man. I'm somebody. You know. Yeah, man, you be fucked up. The business channel, body count just foolish, trying to fill an empty soul. Yeah, man. Yeah, man, my soul was on E. You right. Trying to fill an empty soul. Yeah, man. And in the black community, that's what it was about, man. You had to have the fly gear. You had to have all the fly girls. You know. Yeah, bro. I've been listening, about the business. Jason Black, you know about him. He be speaking that shit, man. It hurt in the beginning when you're like, damn, man, I was on some beta simp shit. I was on some beta shit. I think I'm still shedding a lot of beta simp ways, man. I'm still shedding a lot of that shit. I'm not gonna lie, even in my marriage, me and my wife be having issues and shit. Sometimes I be having to check myself, like, dude, don't let your feelings get the best of you for this woman, man. Slow the fuck down. Like don't. It's like when you got that beta simp biology put in you at a young age, even if you think in your mind you just fly ass nigga and you still got those ways in you, man. That's why I tell you guys, like, I'm not your father figure. I'm not your mentor. Like, don't look up to me. I'm just giving you some objective wisdom from the shit I did, like from where I saw. Like, you could take it or leave it. Look at it like a street sign. You just on the road and you see this sign, like, oh, I see this sign. You can either pay attention to the sign or you can keep going. Like, it's totally up to you. But I'm not gonna be the guy that's like, yeah, just need to be like me. You need to follow. Y'all don't know what the fuck you. Nah, man, I was fucked up, man. Still fighting demons, man. Yeah, truth hurt, but it helped. You right, Uncle Brother. Like, how did it feel for you, man, when you first recognized like your beta simp ways? Like, how did it feel for you? Like, Jason Black was giving me some gut punches. He's like, yeah, man, you niggas, you pricing. I think he did. He created like a chart. He was like, yeah, I mean, he had the he had the crafts. I was like, damn, like this nigga the truth, man. You the truth, dog. I was a fucking simp, dude. Still was simping. I still be simping, man. For my wife, I feel like sometimes, I still be fucking simping. I be having to remind myself, like, dude, just because your wife said and she's successful, don't put her over you, Randy. Like, you could still be a man of value. It don't matter what this motherfucker bring. Like, love yourself, bro. I still be having that's those simp demons. Simping is like demons. Like simp and betaology is like your demons, man. They just want to keep you back, keep you up, keep you fucking buried. Like, nigga, you ain't shit, nigga. You a nigga, man. You ain't who is you, nigga? You ain't got no wealth. Your family ain't rich. You motherfuckers ain't shit, nigga. You just what is you, nigga? That simp beta demon just like digging your ass in the dirt. Like, man, you ain't nothing, nigga. You gotta fight that shit, man. You gotta fight that shit. You know what I'm saying? You know. Yeah, man. Yeah, man, it's a lot of pressure on good men, like a lot, man. It's like you can be a good man, but you don't have to be like a simp. You don't have to be a beta like I was. Like, you don't have to put yourself so low and like put the women up so high. Yeah, we built for it. Yeah, we built for it. It's like be a good man and still love yourself, still value yourself. See yourself as worthy of having boundaries. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be the good man that's like, man, she deserved this, right? She got it. Yeah, so what if she got these situations, bro? It was them niggas. Them niggas wasn't, they was dirt bags. It was, you start adopting that female mindset where you're like trashing the males in their life and shit. You're like, yeah, it was because that guy, he was a dirt bag. That's why I'm better than him. I can treat her better. I can save her. You know, yeah, boundaries. So you had to set boundaries with your ex-wife. Yeah, that's one thing that we wasn't taught too. Like when you don't got your father figure, like you don't know boundaries. You don't know how to set boundaries. Like you just let these women talk to you any kind of way, treat you any kind of way. They're cursing you out. They're yelling at you. They're treating you like shit. Like Jason said, like she think like the Brittany Renner syndrome. I was dealing with so many Brittany Renners, man. Like chicks just think they better than you because they got looks and they got an ass and they can get a lot of other betas. They think they better than you. Like really they more beta than you. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not better than you. They're more beta than you. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I dealt with a lot of that shit. Man. You had to set boundaries with your ex wife. How that shit work out? Yeah, man. So yeah, man. 2 combat deployments, came back. Me and my son's mother didn't work out. I was all over the fucking place. And shit, I'm not gonna say talk bad about her. I can only take responsibility for me, man. I was all over the fucking place. Military, insecure, not knowing left from fucking right. Coming out the military, seeing so much shit. Then I gotta work. Bro, I had 2 nervous breakdown trying to please. Bro, I had to stop it to stable me. I had to regain. Yeah, man. I believe it. Yeah, that shit will make you have a nervous breakdown. I was having panic attack. Yeah, when you be in that beta mindset, beta really is just she's the prize. I need to be thankful to have her. She's like my trophy because I'm so insecure. I don't value myself. So just having her, makes me feel like I'm good enough. It makes me feel like I'm somebody. That's the beta Bible. I got this beautiful girl, even though she might have bad character traits, character flaws. She's so cute. These other niggas want her, they want her, but she chose me. I got her. So that's my value, that's my worth. That external validation. I remember I was in my first combat medical school, and I was just all I was thinking about was like when I got to California was like women, like man, I gotta go out there, man, meet some girls, man. I'm out here in Cali. I was just like insecure as fuck, man. And I remember one of my Marines looked at me. He was like, Randy, man, life isn't about fucking chasing women, man. Like, know your value, man. Know your worth, man. Life ain't always about that. I remember that. That shit was like back in 2000 and like shit, 7, 8. I'll never forget him. Like, he was serious, man. I don't think he was a white dude. He was like mixed with white or something, but really clean cut Marine dude, young dude too. Like, it's like Randy, man, don't worry. Stop thinking about fucking girls and chasing girls and all that shit. I understand it's all right to have fun and do your thing, man, but don't be so consumed by that shit, man. It's like, damn, you right, dude. Like, I never had any nigga in Detroit ever tell me that, you know. Like, it took somebody from like outside of my race, man, to fucking wake me up. Like, dude, what the fuck, man? Like, get your mind out of that shit. Everything ain't about fucking chasing women, man. The fuck, man? You just got to Cali and you already thinking with your dick. Like, man, life is more than just chasing women, Randy. Get your mind out of that shit. This Marine told me that. I was like, damn, that shit humbled me. I was like, damn, like, he right. Like, the fuck am I thinking? Like, so yeah, man. I had to learn that from somebody that was like outside of my race. Like niggas never, I have never had a nigga in Detroit tell me like, "Hey, Randy, everything ain't about chasing no females and getting numbers and all that, man. Your life is more than that, bro. Like, come on, man, wake up, bro." And niggas ain't tell me that shit. Like, that's why sometimes it's better for niggas to get out the hood, man. Like, the hood is good, man, for your street treats and your fucking potato chips and your coney dogs and all that shit. But you got to get the fuck out the hood sometime to really get the knowledge. Because a lot of niggas ain't going to give you the game, man, because they trying to figure that shit out. That's what I'm saying. Like, I needed the militaries. I was that bastard, Sam beta ass young man that needed the military. I needed that shit. I didn't have my father figure. I was insecure. I was just fucking weak. You know what I'm saying? Like, I needed it, man. Thankful. That's why I can't go too hard on America because before the internet, before all of this shit, it helped build me up to be a better man. You were told the same thing. Yeah, man. You were told the same. Yeah, man. I was just fucked up, man. Listening to them rappers, man. The rapper, we wanted to back then. We didn't have YouTube and shit. You wanted to be like the rappers. It was the hip hop. That was like the only real mirror niggas had coming from where we came from in the Midwest. Like, motherfuckers want to come in and travel to Detroit like that shit was Turks and Caicos and shit. Ohio, Chicago, nigga. We was like the bastard kids. Like, you wasn't from New York or Atlanta or Florida. Niggas weren't checking on you in the Midwest. We was getting wiped out, killing each other out, man. I didn't think I was gonna make it. I didn't. I can remember when I was younger, I was like, damn, man, friends dying. I'm like, fuck, am I gonna even make it out of this shit? I'm 52. I'm seasoned now. Nice. That's a blessing, man. You was able to make it to 52. I'm 39. I'll be 40 in June. That's a blessing, man. 52. That's some life experience. So you seen a lot more than me. So you already know how it was before the internet. How you didn't have shit, but just what MTV, BET, and the mentors that you was given, and it wasn't a lot of them. You might have had a different situation than me, but I didn't. It wasn't a lot of brothers around me, man. That was really talking about much. It's like that's why I can't be mad at black people because I understand how it was before all these benefits through social media came. It was hard for us. Like, it was hard for us. Like, and for niggas to really get on, you had to be doing crime, right? You were just doing some real dark shit to get like really famous and to get out the hood. You were like a fucking unicorn. You know what I mean? Like, I remember like niggas was rapping till they fucking lips turn white, fucking dry cotton mouth, trying to get out the hood, and niggas was just it was nothing, no other options, man. Selling weed, niggas was selling weed like the corner was the dispensary. Now they got a fucking dispensary everywhere, and you couldn't really come up off of selling weed because everybody was selling fucking weed. Now you could probably get rich off of selling weed now, but these how they got this shit regulated now. But back then, it was just shit was hard for black folks. That's why I guess that's why I'm so focused on like powering up black people because I understand how it was like you didn't have any way out, man. You didn't have any way out. Like looking at my life now, I'm out here in the Dare Ranch, fucking million dollar community. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, how the fuck did I get here? Like, I was a nigga, like, I was like nothing, like, like no pops, like, my mom doing her thing, me and her not close. And I was just like, fuck, you know, when you get to like certain conditions, you be thinking like death is the best option. You're like, well, shit, at least if I'm dead, I ain't got to do this shit every day. This nigga shit, this hood shit every day. Seeing my niggas getting killed and niggas just every day doing the same thing, talking about the same shit. I'm just like, fuck it. Maybe death is the best option. That's why I was so brave in Iraq. I'm like, man, I'm from Detroit, man. Whatever God got coming from me, man, fuck it. Like I come from shit. So it's like, what could be worse than coming from fucking murder capital? Fuck it. Let's go patrol. I didn't give a fuck, man. I did, man. And I still got that mindset, and I need to. That's why I need therapy. That's why I was telling y'all, man. Work on your mental health, man. If you know you coming from a lot of demons, work on your mental health, man. So yeah, man. Life of a beta simp, insecure, fatherless black boy from Detroit, man. Grew up with his grandma, and she loved me to death, man. Church boy, you know. And I learned a lot, what I'm saying? I learned a lot. But, you know, don't be like me, man. You know what I'm saying? Love yourself, value yourself. Yeah, very important, man. Talk positively to yourself, encourage yourself. And sometimes, Uncle Brother, we just gotta unplug from social media, man, because that shit'll even trigger our demons, man. Because we'll be looking at these young niggas like, man, like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, sometimes I might have to cut out social media for a while, man, because it's a different generation, it's a different era, it's a different era. Like, this isn't our era, man. We're just alive to witness it, but this shit wasn't made for us. Yeah, because of hidden stress. Yeah, man, you ain't lying, man. You ain't never lie. But life is good, man. God is good. We still here. You know, we still alive this day. You know, pass our wisdom down to our kids. Hopefully they'll learn from our mistakes, do the right thing. I was talking to my daughter last night, just really proud of her. She got all A's. She 12, my daughter Jewel, and she's like, I'm like, yeah, man. What's your plans for the future? What do you want to do? She's like, I want to be famous. I'm like, damn. I'm like, well, you can be famous, but find you something that you can kind of anchor your future down in, get you a career. She wants to go to school and stuff too, but this is the fame generation. This the fame generation, Uncle Brother. These kids want to be famous, man. They looking on TikTok and YouTube and they seeing shit, all these other young people doing it, so they want to be famous, man. I couldn't even get mad at her. I'm just like, damn. Part of me was kind of hurt, because you don't want your daughter to just be thinking about fame and shit. It's a part of me last night. I was just like, it was like a little like, damn. Like, salute the parents, man, because you can't control all the conditions your kids are exposed to, man. You can't control it, man. That's why I can understand like people who don't have kids. I understand y'all. It's like it's too much to y'all. It's too much shit y'all powerless to, and you don't want your kids exposed to that shit. I understand that. I respect that. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta trust God, man. You gotta have faith in God. You can't just be faithless and hopeless, you know. Just like, all right, you wanna be famous? I get that. Be famous doing the right thing. Yeah, they got way. And I know she didn't mean to hurt my feelings by saying she wanted to be famous. You're right. Our kids have ways that hurt our feelings, but that's the economy that we're living in, the attention economy. They want to be famous. They want to be social media stars and shit, you know. And she does TikTok videos and stuff. And they're age appropriate. Sometimes I'm just like, damn, I don't really want. She's a beautiful girl. So I'm just like, damn, I don't want her to be out there so young. But then here I am on fucking YouTube. I got a 30-year-old Army vet son, 18, 12, and 9. Nice. That's a blessing, man. That's a blessing. Yeah, I try to get my son to join the Army. He's an artist. He draws so good. He almost draws as good as Stan Lee. His artwork is just classic. But I'm like, damn, man, I don't know if you're gonna find a job being an artist, man. They creating with iPads now. And I think I'd be discouraging him, but I shouldn't be talking to him like that because who knows? Maybe he could get on doing artwork. I got to be careful as a father because when kids go down those paths that are like the creatives, you don't want to dim their light. So I be careful with my words. Like, I don't want to teach him, like, he can't be great being an artist. You know what I'm saying? Son, if you're watching, you can't be great being an artist. You can be probably the best artist this generation, man. I just want the best for you, bro. Like, it ain't a lot out here for niggas, man, being creators unless you know somebody or you got somebody sponsoring you, but your artwork is dope. So I can't, I don't, I'd sacrifice my life for you to have the benefits, Makai. So if you want to go to college and you want to take art to the next level, I'm going to support you either way, because I know he'd be watching my videos. Yeah, man, follow your gift, follow your dream, man. You know, our generation growing up, you couldn't just get by with art. It was like, nigga, you had to be the plumber and the artist, or the electrician and the artist, or the fucking, this generation, they got so many opportunities for them. So I don't want to be that dad that dim his light. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he can do it, you know. So, but yeah, man, life of a beta simp, fatherless YouTuber from Detroit, man. But my life is good, man. I met my wife, and like I was telling you guys earlier, just because a woman kids from previous marriages don't mean that they're not qualified. Sometimes, man, like when you're dealing with women, man, they don't have kids. All they the kid. That's why they don't have kids because they're the kid. And I just coming out of Iraq, I'm just like I'm not dealing with grown ass kids, man. People who don't have kids, they got a certain mindset. No, I appreciate it, bro. Appreciate you, Uncle Brother. Like a lot of people who don't got kids, they got a real like a Peter Pan. I look at people who don't got kids like Peter Pan. Like you guys are like forever. You know, it's a forever young. I wanna be forever. You guys are like forever young, bro. Like thanks, Uncle Brother. I appreciate it. Like they forever young. Like people who don't have kids. Like y'all guys who don't have kids, you females, you males, you guys got an understanding. That's why I rock with y'all, but then I don't rock with y'all because you guys don't. I feel like a part of you guys have like a little bit of like pretentious spirit where like I don't have kids, so I'm better than y'all niggas who got kids. I don't got to deal with all that stress. I don't got to. It's only about me, you know. It's like you got that in you. Hey, what's up, Berlinita? How you doing? Just because you don't have kids, man, don't mean you better than nobody better than anybody. Even people who got kids, we not better than y'all just because we got kids. We're not better than y'all, and you're not better than us because you don't got kids. Ain't nobody better than nobody. Shit, But that's how a lot of you guys think, you know. So for me, even before I had kids, when I was dealing with girls that didn't have kids, it was just like I don't need people to think they better than me. I'm not trying to compete, with my woman. You know what I'm saying? Like if we can't work together, yeah, but they gotta realize they're gonna get old and need help. Happy birthday, Berlinita. You can come in. I'm talking. Come in. Happy birthday, Berlinita. Damn, my phone about to die. Hold on, let me. You say, yeah. I was just talking about my life experience, how I grew up being foolish. You say, yeah, but I'm doing it on my phone. Yeah, but they're gonna realize they're gonna get old and need help. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, I was listening to YouTube yesterday. Uncle Brother said hi. Yeah, they was talking about how guys who date women that got kids, they're like betas and simps and shit like that. Yeah, she a good woman, man. Berlinita's birthday today, so happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. Yeah, the chicks I was dealing with that didn't have kids, man, they just too like people who don't have kids, they just too self-centered, man. And sometimes it's better to deal with a girl who got a kid because at least they're more mature. Like,
Not really.
depends on the girl though. It depends on the girl.
Not really.
I don't know. It depends. Like, it depends. Not all women who got kids are better, but when you have kids, you got a lot more selflessness experience depending on your situation, your family situation, because you could be childless and maybe you were like the oldest or maybe you had to sacrifice, so you kind of have that spirit too. But he said you from Cali too. Tell me where you from, babe.
I'm from China.
Yeah.
I'm not from here.
Yeah, she not from here.
I'm about to cook
What are you about to cook?
pasta.
Oh, okay. Nice. Yeah, I'm almost done. I just got the shower. Harmony's still sleeping. Mm.
Guys, what you guys talk about?
I was telling them about my life experiences and how not having a dad and how it really made me really insecure growing up, and just how I was doing a lot of dumb shit, just really insecure. But then I still had a good life. I still had a good life. I still had a. No, I was saying I'm talking to a Chinese chick. She from Cali. Oh, nice. Oh, I see what you're saying. He's talking to a Chinese girl from Cali. Nice. Nice. That's dope, man. Yeah, he's 52. Yeah, life is. Are you from Cali, Uncle Brother? Are you from Cali originally? Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. Oh, South Carolina. Oh, okay. Got you, got you, got you. Country boy, nice. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, man. So salute to Jason Black, man. I'm surprised Uncle Brother you be watching him, man. Yeah, he that guy, man. You know. So I'm gonna keep you guys long, man. I was just telling you, I was a simp, beta, insecure, just like a lot of you guys out there, man. Didn't know what I was doing, where I was going.
The hair is still there, huh? Super soup.
Damn, is it? Gosh, that soup was strong. Yeah, man. Let us know when you out here. Let us know when you out here, man. You be coming to Cali a lot? I'm trying to see if I can see my video on the live. YouTube, I feel like they be shadow banning my shit, man. Like, or people probably just tired of seeing my ass. They're like, Randy, we see you every day. Yeah, I don't even see my video on live videos, man. YouTube, like, dude, we done with you. Probably so many people probably flag my channel, man. And they're like, man, if you go live, Randy, you only gonna go live with all of 3 people. We have family in Palm Springs, nice.
Ooh.
Yeah, they don't even got my video on the live join. I think they probably only put you on there if you pop in, like. Yeah, it show right there I'm live, but it don't show like on the YouTube page. I think they shadow banned my page, man. I was getting so many live viewers. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it, bro. Appreciate you. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate you, appreciate you, appreciate you. Yeah, YouTube, they done with me, man.